everyone! Today we're going to be talking about introducing foods with your child. So we'll be covering allergies, choking hazards, things like that. And I just want to make sure that you all know that all of the information I'll be providing for you today is coming straight from the CDC. Nothing is my personal opinion on anything. This is all coming right from the top. So let's get started. It is recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics to start introducing solid food, which is anything other than breast milk or formula, around 6 months old. So there's 3 things to look for to make sure your child is developmentally ready for this. That is that they can hold their head up by themselves, they can sit up by themselves, and that they open their mouths when food is offered to them. There is no evidence to suggest you should be introducing foods in any specific order, and by the time your child is 7 or 8 months old, they'll be able to get a variety of different foods from a variety of different food groups just fine. And another important thing to remember is that if you are using infant cereal, to use a selection of fortified cereals and not just rice cereal. It is not recommended by the Food and Drug Administration that your child only receive rice cereal. When introducing new foods with your child, it is recommended to wait 3 to 5 days between each new food that is introduced so you can make sure there's no sensitivity or allergic reaction to any specific food. The 8 most common allergenic foods are milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, wheat, peanuts, tree nuts, and soybeans. There's no evidence to say that you should avoid these foods completely, but if you're worried about them, I would definitely consult your doctor before introducing them. When you are first introducing your child to new foods, the easier textures for them will just be anything smooth. So that means pureed, mashed, strained, pretty much anything with like a really smooth, almost milky texture. And as they get older, it'll be easier for them to get more thicker foods and even chunks of foods. But at first, you may see them gag or even spit up if they are introduced to those foods, and that's totally normal. It's just them getting used to it, but it is suggested to start with the more pureed side and then work your way up as they are developmentally ready for it. Another thing to keep in mind is that some foods are choking hazards, so it's important to prepare foods that are developmentally appropriate for your child. So some choking hazards include whole grapes, whole hot dogs, cheese sticks, granola bars, chips, things like that. So I will put in the description of this video the full list of the CDC choking hazards for you to look at. But there are a few ways to help prevent choking in your child. So that is first to always feed them when sitting up. So that means never lying down or in any position other than like fully sitting up. And then to feed them in a safe space. So that means their high chair, a boppy, any space where you feel that they are able to sit up and eat their food in an appropriate way. And that also means to avoid feeding them in a stroller or car seat. Those 2 things are definitely not recommended. Some helpful tips for preparing food for your child are to mix any sort of cereal or grain with some breast milk or formula to add a little bit of more nutrients in that for them. Another good thing to do is to cook any hard fruits or vegetables. So that means turning apples into applesauce or just steaming broccoli and making sure it's really mushy before you feed it to them. Another good thing to do is to just mash any soft fruits or vegetables for them before you give it to them, just to work their way up to a more thick texture. And then cutting any circular foods into like half moons. So any hot dogs, any string cheese, anything like that, just making sure nothing's in a circle. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video and found it a little bit informative. If you have any other questions for me, just let me know and I will answer them as best I can. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!